I don't know what to call it. Like,
I thought we were talking about something about peace, inner peace.
I know. I don't know what to call the segment.
Oh. What did you say earlier when we was upstairs?
Oh, Scatterbrain Saturday.
Okay.
I don't think
All right.
that's gonna be
Okay.
good.
Scatterbrain Saturday. Okay. Okay.
No, I ain't gonna call it that. Yes, recording.
Oh. Hey. How you doing? We're trying to figure out what it is she wants to call this segment. How about just mom coming in and messing with you?
Okay.
Or getting mom's thoughts.
Getting mom's thoughts?
Yeah, mom's thoughts.
Okay.
She don't like it.
Getting mom's thoughts. Well, I am Ashita Irene, and this is my lovely mother,
Chantel.
Chantel. She wants to give you her role first. Okay.
Well, what's that?
Yeah, it's cool. So I have a topic that I just thought of because I wanted to do a segment called Scattered Brain Saturday, but I don't know, my topics that I put down were probably just a little too heavy. Thank you. So I don't know. I'm gonna rename this in the title of the video, whatever comes to mind, because I'm creative like that. So
She is.
I have a topic that is kind of like, I don't know, I wouldn't say it's dark, but I just feel like maybe no one has really talked about it before. So I said, letting trauma kill your inner child. So letting trauma kill your inner child. Maybe that'll be the title of the video. And I think it came to me, I guess, this morning when I was just like, I kind of have this youthful side of me, this youthful spirit that I like to kind of like dabble into when I feel like things are getting a little too serious, especially dealing with my depression, because depression can really like make things dark and really morbid. So I kind of dig into what I used to do when I was a child. So I wore roller skates probably like 2 weeks ago. And it was just really like invigorating and just reminding me that, you need to have fun no matter how old you are.
Yep.
And the things that I went through when I was, going through the journeys of whatever age I was, I always found a way to just revert back to my inner child and never letting my inner child kind of grow up, because I really can't see myself being this serious adult, always about like paying bills and just doing like the adult stuff. And this is really distracting.
Our two cats are over in there fighting.
Like they going here.
But see, that's the stuff I'm talking about. Hey. See, this is the life we live right here with these cats. But to piggyback off of you saying not losing your inner child, but just wanting to keep in touch with it and not have to deal with, not having to deal with adult life. It's a part of life. Mm-hmm. It's something that you have to eventually encounter. Mm-hmm. And I know a lot of parents, we don't want our children to go through what we've gone through. So we try to, and that's the thing. As you grow in life as a parent, you want to see your children do different than what you did, do better than what you did, and don't have to suffer the consequences that you have, encountered or happened in your life. So we try to instruct and lead and guide, but sometimes we do it in a way that is not conducive to our child, being as though they may think they do think differently. They're going through different situations. So it's like, okay, how do I mix, or how do I interact with my child? How do I interact with my young adult? How do I interact with the adult that they are becoming? So you have to be careful on how you nurture, how you guide them, how you talk to them, how you direct them in the way that they should go. Because the word says, train them up in the way they should go, and they will soon return. And a lot of times that's, basically putting them in, I'll say, church and going that way. So we have to be careful on how we do that, because we can either turn them to God or turn them away from God.
It depends on how strict you are when it comes to the religion.
True. Yeah. And she can speak on that, and I can agree And as I grew older in life, I can attest to how I was when I first encountered Christ and first encountered turning my life over to God, turning my life over to Christ, to God, and going that way, and how I possibly turned my children away from God. But we have to be careful on what we do and how we interact with our children, especially dealing with Christ, because like I said, we can either turn them to the religion, to the spirituality of it, or we can turn them away from it, from the religion of it, because that's what a lot of it is, that I've experienced.
Yeah. How do you keep your inner child like happy?
Inner child. And I don't want to go dark, but unfortunately, I kind of sort of have to. And it's not even going dark. It's just the fact that what I experienced in life. I don't remember a lot of my childhood, but some of I do remember, but a lot of it I don't, because of my tragic losing my mother at a very young age. 17, just had my first child, and it was to violence. So a lot of things I blocked out in my life. But there are still memories that come in, and it could be something that that I'm doing with my children, throughout the years that brought back memories, like when we was watching the Billie Holiday thing, and I literally went back to the time I remember me and Terrell, that's my youngest brother, and his father and my mom, and we was on Worcester Street, and we would listen to Billie Holiday, and they would, they will be having their, interaction. And then me and Terrell, he was a little baby. And I just remember sitting on the floor watching my mom and his father, my stepdad, and just being, feeling, a feeling of safety, a feeling of, happiness, And
So as you get older, you have no choice but to kind of like dig up those memories of your childhood, because I feel like when you get older, if you don't encounter dementia or Alzheimer's, like you kind of have those flashbacks of memories. Even like when you're watching the Billie Holiday, you're just like, that song, that imagery brought me to when I was this age.
Right.
So it's like you still have your inner child with you, even as you're growing up. And even though you went through traumatizing and dramatic things and tragedy, your inner child is still inside of you saying, you remember this? Like, you remember having fun? You remember these memories?
Yeah.
And so it's like keeping that inner child alive and not, killing it as the trauma happens and remembering the trauma. And it just all kind of comes together. So separating the traumatic experiences with the inner child.
You don't want to, as someone said to me, you don't want to live life through your pain. And when they said it to me at the time, I'm like, I don't live my life through my pain. But when you start to speak to people and you start to talk about your interactions in life and things that you go through, if it starts out with the loss, then I can see that person saying you're living through your pain instead of saying, well, I remember back in the day when, but instead you go into, well, when my mom passed away, it brought back this memory or that. And, just live through the memory instead of living through the pain. Yeah. So I understood that. And I took that and I said, okay, all right, I understand. But it doesn't negate the fact that you suffered pain in your life. Yeah. You still you don't want to hold on to it, but you want to acknowledge it and know that you can get over it. That makes you. You know what I'm saying? The things that you go through in life, they create your character. Yeah. They create your outlook on life.
Oh, yeah. So the things like, back to what do you do to keep your inner child happy? Like to not let it die with your past.
Don't be stagnant. That's one thing. Don't be stagnant. Don't stay there. Don't stay there very long. Acknowledge it, address it, deal with it, and move on from it.
So what do you do to keep your inner child happy?
It's been a long time since I've been an inner child. I'm 50, girl.
Yes, but the thing is, you saying you're 50, somebody could look at you and be like, you look at least maybe 35. I mean, I guess, with
the gray hair.
With the silvers. But, you still look youthful. There are people who are your age that do not look as youthful as you. So what keeps you youthful and saying, I'm not going to let old age get me to be old age?
Because I determined it. I have the aches and pains. I have the snap, crackle,
Right.
pop. But,
Yeah.
you know, there's life. And there's more to life than just getting old.
Right.
It's called getting older.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
aging like fine wine, you know, as they say. I haven't lived it all. You know, one, I had children young, so
Right, right. That's another thing.
That's what kind of sort of took away my, well, didn't take away, but you know, postponed my youthfulness. You know, so, and I grew up with my children, so my children kept me young.
Well, I was like 10. We was like maybe 30 or something.
Something like that.
Crazy.
Yeah, something like that. It's
like
just,
I'm 31. I can't even think about.
I was 19 when I had
like,
you.
That's ridiculous.
Which I'm looking forward to one day, so I can have grandbabies. From her or Bryant.
You stop saying people's names.
They know who much.
They don't. There's people out there that don't know. Okay.
No, well, that's true.
So the next topic that I put down, I guess these are more like positive. Being grateful for inner peace.
Ooh, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
Inner peace to me is, you know, when you're able to be by yourself and not have to long for a companion, or you don't feel alone, or you're not lonely. So inner peace is you being able to deal with your inner thoughts and deal with the self-saboteur and still be able to, you know, walk around with a smile. Mm-hmm. And I kind of feel like I have inner peace, but I would like it to be more abundant and not just, you know, sporadically. Oh, today I'm inner peace, or tomorrow I'll be back in my depression. Like, I want a constant show of inner peace. Mm-hmm. Are you grateful for inner peace? Do you have inner peace?
Dealing with the tragedies that I had in life, losing my mother at a very young age to violence, losing my son at his very young age, mm-hmm. To violence in his life, in life. It can be a struggle some days to sit with my own thoughts, mm-hmm. And dealing with my inner issues that I have, right? With dealing with those tragedies in life. But I will say, each day, taking one day at a time, and just seeing that life is precious, as we all say whenever we lose somebody very young. Family is important, which it truly is. And just knowing that today may be a bad day, mm-hmm. but tomorrow hasn't come yet. Right. So it's looking forward to, I'm going to get past this. As I was talking to someone today who lost a loved one, mm-hmm. and they said, time heals all wounds. Mm-hmm. No, it doesn't. Right. And what it does, time helps you manage the pain. Wow. Time helps you deal with the pain. Mm-hmm. Whereas though you won't lose your mind and lose that inner peace that you're talking about. Yeah. And inner peace is different for everybody. Yeah. It's not the same. Right. Your inner peace may be just not having no thoughts in your head, but just being able to sit and be still and to listen to the birds, to listen to silence, and be happy and listening at the silence. Yeah. Somebody else's inner peace may be, okay, I need to get out of here. I need to go do something. I need to be around people, So everybody's inner peace is different, but just to be able to sit and be calm on the inside, mm-hmm. and not have a rage or just anxiety or just something going on, whereas though you sit there and your mind is boggled, mm-hmm. and you're in a fog. Yeah. So just going through life and seeing her do things.
1 second. Talking a lot makes my mouth dry.
I talk all day on the phone. My profession. But inner peace. Just being able to smile and mm-hmm. Say, okay, today I'm okay. Today mm-hmm. I'm all right. Tomorrow is not here. And we'll encounter that when it gets here. Mm-hmm. But right now, I'm okay.
Yeah. How would someone go about trying to find their inner peace? Because I've seen a couple of I'm just put a little out there. I've seen a family member kind of talk about how they were so angry and filled with rage that they might hurt someone or hurt themselves. And I was just like, that person needs inner peace so mm-hmm. that they know how to handle anger, disappointment, letdowns from other family members.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're so enraged on the inside, you will lash out.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yep.
inevitable.
Yep.
And just seeing like the things on the news where there's so much terrorism, if we're gonna call it what it is, it's terrorism.
Mm-hmm.
People they're trying to make everything that happens, oh, this person had a bad day.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, well, it's not just a bad day, it's an accumulation of things that's boiling on the inside,
Mm-hmm.
and they feel like violence is the only way to
Mm-hmm.
get it out. But that does not create inner peace, that creates more turmoil and
Mm-hmm.
rage.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're affecting other people. Like, it's a domino effect. It's
Right.
never just I'm having a bad day and I took it out on some people. It's I'm angry with something inside of me.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm going to affect thousands of other people.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, if we try to achieve inner peace, then we can kind of cut down on the violence and things that's going on in the world. But it's like no one's really talking about having that inner peace or finding it or a way to find it. Because not everybody is walking around citing mantras and reading crystals and stuff. Like, we need a simpler way to say, listen, you know, they'll say, if you are upset or disappointed about something, count to 5 and then breathe or whatever. I think that's a good thing to do. But when you're trying to reach that grown man that's angry, that knows, listen, I got fired today, I'm about to shoot up my job or something, or I'm about to do something really reckless. Like, how can you tell this grown person, this grown man, that they need to find inner peace? They need to really recollect everything that happened and then kind of sort it out before they go outside into the world and hurt other people.
For me, I believe it's something that you have already. It has to be something that's already inside of you, that you have already had it. Yeah. And everybody reacts to things differently. You can have the same scenario and have it to be a child, and they didn't get the lunch they wanted, the Lunchable they wanted.
Yeah.
Or they didn't get...
And then that starts at a young age, too.
Yeah. So it's like, you know, it could be from an adult to a child. Even with a baby. Think about a little child. Yeah. They throw tantrums when they can't get what they want. Yeah. You know, so it's all about...
So it's a taught behavior then?
It could be a taught behavior. It could be something that's a learned behavior. It could be something that is attributed from something that happened in their lives, you know, especially at a very young age. Yeah. You know, so you have to be careful what you feed your children. Matter of fact, you got to be careful what you feed yourself as you're birthing children. Right. You know, as you're you know, incubating, and I hate to say it like this, such a terminal, you know, terminal way. But when you're incubating a child, you know, you got to be careful, you know. And I remember clearly when I was pregnant with you, Tyrone used to talk to my stomach.
Oh, wow.
Like, he would talk to my stomach, you know, and talk to you. Wow. And when you came out and he spoke, your head turned towards him.
Interesting.
Because he was speaking to you while you were in my stomach. Right. You know, so you knew when you came out who his voice was, you know.
That's crazy.
And I'll take it back to, I don't want to get biblical, but it said, my sheep hear my voice. So you think about it, if God is speaking to us, and we have God in our lives, and he has been incubating in us, when we go through things, and he speaks to us, even though his voice is not loud, we will hear it. You know, we will hear it. You know, so it's all about, you know, it's unfortunate. It goes back to how you were raised, who your parents was, who invested in you. You know, so
So that's a great segue for my next topic, which is not having gospel music in mainstream basically affecting the youth today. Because when I was growing up, I'm going to say around maybe 14, 15, when we started being in church, I mean, gospel was kind of mainstream. We had Mary, we had Kirk Franklin. I'm not going to say Donnie McClurkin, but, you know, we did grow up listening to him. Right. And
Ty Tribbett.
So it's like, we
Candy Jones, I can go...
we had gospel music coming out almost every single week with a new single, with a new album. And I remember the entertainment business also reflected that as well. They had so many movies where people wanted to join the church and join the choir. And I just feel like that's what's missing now. And not to like kind of like force Christianity on people, because I'm not a Christian myself, but I did grow up in that way. And I can see the difference of people leading with love and God and that whole like realm of Christianity. And into now where everybody's out for themselves. There's not really no guidance for the youth. It's like everybody's kind of doing their own thing. And it's kind of leading down to this really downward spiral where everybody's like killing each other. They're ODing. There's no love here. And I just feel like maybe the music is missing that kind of like love feeling from gospel mainly, because you could talk about love in all kinds of ways, but
right, that's true.
Because I remember the first gospel album I kind of bought was Kiki Shared, and I remember just feeling like, this is a young girl, and I could probably be inspired by her, and it was just like seeing youthful people also praising God. You know what I mean? That's kind of kept me from being...
The children are our future. That is so true.
And I really talk about the youth a lot because they're the ones that's being affected. Like my generation, which is like the 90s, they're kind of like finding their way. But the 2000 babies, they getting up out of here. Like they're not connecting for some reason. And it just seems like somewhere somebody need to say something. And if I'm that voice, then I'll be that voice. But it's just like... The next generation after me and the one after them they're kind of just out there just winging it, and there's like no kind of like guidance for them. And I kind of want to be like, well, what is going on with the parents? Like, are the parents not talking to the children? Are they not loving them enough? Is this too much technology? Like, what is going on?
I believe it's too much media in the households, where so back in the day, you had a village raising the kids.
Yeah.
And you had Miss Bradshaw across the street, Mr. Durr down the street, you had Miss Betty up the street, Mama, you had people you had other people looking out. And instead of saying, oh, you need to mind your business and leave my kids out your... Thank you, Miss Such and Such, for looking out for my child. And it's no more family oriented.
And there's no more consequences. Like, I feel like because people are kind of like, this is we're not doing Christianity anymore, so we don't believe in heaven and hell. I feel like that kind of took away the appreciation of life. It's like, well, I can go out and shoot this dude on live and not feel no kind of way because I don't have no ties to nothing.
Right.
So when I die, I just die. You know what I'm saying? So if people aren't, I guess that good fear of consequences of what you do in this world.
Because in some aspect, they're glorifying being evil. They're glorifying.
I never
being
thought about it like that, like glorifying evil. Like, that's weird.
Yeah. That's what's happening, and it says it in the Word of God. Men will be lovers of themselves, which we are nowadays. And right will be wrong, and wrong will be right, which it is nowadays. You can't even chastise.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
without somebody saying, no, you can't do that to them. They have their own mind. It's like, first of all, if a child has his own mind, they can raise themselves up. And we see what's happening now.
Yeah.
You see what happened to the babies raising themselves right now. So it's like, it's a lot. It is a lot to deal with, but we have to, we have to hold people accountable. And I have to hold myself accountable. So it's all about taking that responsibility and an accountability of what being your brother's or sister's keeper.
Right. Because there's no code in the streets no more.
No,
like
not
these
anymore.
young dudes, they killing each other. They're not even saying like, oh, this is my brother. We've been through the trenches together. Like, let's give him the benefit of the doubt. It's no bang bang, shoot him up, like shoot his family up. It's terrible. And I feel like if there was a balance of, the ratchet music, the gangster music, and kind of like the spiritual music. Because not every gospel song is like Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Like, no, there was like, I want to feel better. I've been through some things. Like, I can say a bunch of songs. It's just like, I was down and out, and now I'm feeling better because I love myself, or I found the love in me.
That's the key word right there.
What?
Love.
Yeah.
There's no love anymore.
No.
I mean,
I have to go with the music because that's what's so prevalent. Like, there is no love. It's F them and get some money. And it's like, okay, we can have that because that happens.
Right.
But we also
need
the
right way to
songs.
have that. Yeah. It's the right way to have that, and that's the thing.
Yeah.
Like I said, media is taking away the family.
Yeah.
You know, and just putting children in front of TVs with their devices. And people keep talking about it, but we still keep
nobody's
doing it.
Like, why y'all keep buying your kids iPads? I mean, if you know your child is tripping and acting up, take away the technology. Tell them to go outside, mow the lawn or something.
Yeah. I see it all day on my timeline. Remember when we used to play jacks? Remember we used to jump rope? Remember what this was? Remember going outside playing on a box and stuff like that?
And that's the thing with the whole like gaming system too. Like I remember not being allowed to play games with guns and stuff. It was like you can play the wrestling games, the Batman games, the Sonics, but when it comes to shooting people on the game and stuff, that was a no-no because nowadays you have the Call of Duty. You go outside and you think you're in Call of Duty now, and you have this access to these guns and stuff. Now everyone's your op. So it's like you're playing a game now, but there's real life consequences. You can go to prison. You can get shot yourself. And I just feel like if we kind of, I mean, because you can say you can be strict about things, but it's also preserving the youth. They're out of control, and no one's kind of putting them in control. And then the people that's out, like the bad apples, they're affecting the good ones because those are ones that's dying. And it's like, well. I raised my kid up right, but your kid just killed my kid. Now yours was left.
It's a vicious cycle. It's like I said, it's about love. You know, the unconditional love, the long suffering of love. Just saying, I'm going to be here for you. You know, and whatever it takes. What happened to it? Where is it? Where's the family? The family code. That's the thing. Where's the family code?
Yeah.
And it's just, I don't know. I guess we got to keep fighting for it, But
how do we fight? That's another thing.
You stand up. Whoever it takes.